Good afternoon. It is a great pleasure to be here at WASEDA University. I would like to thank Distance Learning Center for inviting me to this wonderful event. I would first like to congratulate all the winners today, and I would like to say that I'm very happy to participate in the first e-teaching award ceremony. I am from Korea University. We have collaborated, especially in the CCDL program, with Professor Michiko Nakano, Director Nakano, since 1999. So I'm happy to be here and to talk to you about our Excellent Teaching Award at Korea University. For those of you who are not very familiar with Korea University, our university is located in Seoul, Korea. This is a picture of our main building, and our campus was established in 1905. We have two campuses, one in Seoul and one in a southern province. It is our satellite campus. We have 23 colleges, and we have over 4,660 faculty members who are awarded for excellence in teaching as well. For those of you who know the rivalry, I heard that in Japan there's a rivalry between WASEDA and Keio. And it's the same in Korea. In Korea, our university has a rivalry with a university called Yonsei. So Yonsei is very similar to Keio, while Korea University is very, very similar to WASEDA. So that's very nice to know. I'd like to talk about our teaching award. Our teaching award was established comparatively recently in comparison to other universities. As to how our teaching award is started, it's very, very obvious. What the university administration wanted to do was to recognize excellence in teaching. After all, at the university, teaching is one of the most important functions in terms of education and one of the major roles that a professor or an instructor should play at the university level. So to recognize the contribution to teaching and excellence in teaching, this is why the award was started. In terms of the award at Korea University in particular, we started in the first semester of 2004. One particular characteristic of our award that is different from the e-teaching award is that our award is based solely on student evaluations. So there are no recommendations from fellow faculty members, which I think is a very good criteria to have in addition to student evaluations. So I see that as a very nice characteristic of the e-teaching award. In terms of student evaluations, across the university, student evaluations are compulsory, which means the students have to do the evaluation. The way the university makes sure the students do the evaluation is at the end of the semester, the student must fill out the evaluation on the learning management system. So at WASEDA University, you have course Navi. At Korea University, we have a learning management system called EKU. So on EKU, all the students must fill out the evaluation for every course they take. If they do not fill out the evaluation, they cannot see their grade. So it's obligatory. So if you want to know your grade, you have to fill out the evaluation for that course. Then you will find out if you got an A, B, or C, or D, or F. So that's how it's done. So student evaluation, you must do it as a student for all classes. So if you are taking 7 classes, then you have to do 7, all 7. In terms of the student evaluation, there are several components to the evaluation. Over the years, the components have changed a lot. This is the components that are on the student evaluation as of this year. There are general questions, and there are a few questions that are based on self-evaluation. So the student evaluates himself or herself, and some of the questions ask about How much preparation did you put into this course? So there's a self-evaluation component, but that self-evaluation component is not counted towards the award and the evaluation itself. Item number 2 instead is focused upon, and that has to do with organization of the lecture and the completion of the course, how the lecture was conducted. For courses that are offered in English or other foreign languages, there are optional questions that the student must answer. For instance, the student will be asked, what percentage of English was used in the course? So the student will check over 90%, over 60%. So that's an optional question for foreign language mediated courses. In addition to multiple choice questions, all of the questions are multiple choice except for 4. There are open-ended questions, and I will show you what the open-ended questions are in a little bit later. And then there are additional questions about the course, and I will also mention that a little bit later as well. In terms of the evaluation criteria, as I mentioned earlier, organization and completion of the course, questions that have to do with this component are very, very important. So these are the actual questions, and they're scaled. So this class was generally good. The professors respected students' opinions. The professor conducted the lecture systematically. The professor was enthusiastic. So these are some sample questions on the evaluation form. And a few other questions are, this class was helpful to acquire knowledge of the field. This lecture presented clear evaluation criteria. The students want to know how they were assessed and evaluated. Another question has to do with the materials. What was the textbook like? Was the textbook helpful? And then another question has to do with feedback. What kind of feedback does the professor provide the students with? The open-ended questions are there to supplement and complement the multiple choice questions. So here, students are free to write anything. So in terms, as I mentioned earlier, students are obligated. They must write something. So for those students who are lazy or who do not have enough time, they will just type a period for every question. Period, 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 period. Or they will say ha 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 or put a smiley face. But these open-ended questions, you have to type something. So in terms of the length of the answers, there's no limit. So some students will write a lot, and as I mentioned earlier, some students will just type something in. In terms of the open-ended questions, you are required to talk about the professor and what you think about the class in general. What did you like about the class? What did you not like about the class? The second open-ended question asks about providing an opinion about the way the class was offered. In terms of, for instance, was there anything wrong with the class? Any violations involved? Was there any abuse? Was Korean used when English should be used in a class? So right now, in terms of evaluations and student evaluations, there are many changes going on in Korean universities. So our university is also working on revising the questions. First of all, we have too many questions. So in that sense, we are working and we are setting up a task force. At our rival university, I told you our rival university is Yonsei University in Seoul, Korea. They have already revised their questions. They only have four questions for student evaluation, and they are all open-ended. So Yonsei University has done something very innovative. In terms of another university, they have innovated as well in terms of their student evaluations. And what that university does and what we want to do as well in our student evaluation is to include an open question where the professor can add their question. So in terms of our questions, everything is set. You cannot add questions, you cannot take out questions, you cannot change questions. But this other university, they said, okay, we will give the professor 3 questions. So those 3 questions can be any questions about the course. So the problem with our student evaluation is that it is not customized to a particular course. Not all courses are taught the same or taught in the same way. So there should be some questions that deal with the specialization or the specialty of that particular course. So that's something that we are trying to incorporate and that we feel is a good way to change the student evaluations. These are the rest of the additional questions. Number 3 has to do with the environment of the class. Were the microphones working? How is the lighting? Or do the computers work? What about the equipment? So this question usually is forwarded to the administration so they can take care of any problems that have to do with equipment and environment. Number 4 is also important because as an instructor, if you wish to cancel a class, you must announce it. You must announce it officially. You must announce it publicly to the students. So number 4 is to check if the professor was responsible for canceling class in a proper manner and whether that professor made up the class as well. So these are open-ended questions and the students are free to write anything they wish. As for how the awardees are selected, as I said, 100% is based on student evaluations only. Our award started in 2004, the first semester, as I mentioned earlier. So that means we looked at evaluation criteria from 2003. In the beginning, as you see, the first line says average of answers to questions in course evaluation, and that has stayed the same as the main criteria for selection. However, in 2005, there was a recommendation item that was added, which means in order to receive the teaching award, students must have checked, I recommend this professor for the teaching award. So a recommendation item was added in 2005, and more than 1/3 of the course takers must have said, yes, I recommend this professor. In 2006, we found a problem. The problem was students who got a bad grade did a bad evaluation of the professor. They knew they were getting a D. They knew if they got an F, then they would write things that were very bad about the professor. So we took this out. We said, okay, for students who are evaluating, only students who received A, B, or C can evaluate. That's all we will count. If you received a D or an F, then you will have a grudge. We probably think that you hate the teacher. So we took that out in 2006. In 2007, what we did was we said, okay, in order for the evaluation to be valid, over 50% must have answered. As I said, some students answer by doing other things. They don't answer the question. They type in smiley faces or something like that. So this is how the awardees are selected. In terms of what cases, we have 2 types of award. One is the Excellent Teaching Award, and one is the Outstanding Course Award. The Outstanding Course is more of a commendation. It's not exactly an award, and I will tell you the difference between the 2 awards. In terms of number winners, I'm sorry, the print is very small. For the Excellent Teaching Award, basically the difference is this. Excellent Teaching Award is awarded to the top 5% of all faculty. But there is an exception. In terms of who can win, we give teaching awards to full-time faculty and also to part-time instructors as well. For part-time instructors, it's the top 5% for each college. For full-time faculty, there are a few differences. We usually divide the courses into 3 types of courses. So the first type is the major course. So for instance, I'm in the English department, so the major would be English. Elective courses are electives. And then we have what is called EMI, English Mediated Instruction. So these are for courses that are taught through English. These are not English language courses, but for instance, courses such as mathematics or science that are taught through English. So Korea University has always had a heavy emphasis on English and English-mediated courses. As of this year, over 40% of our entire courses are given through English, in English, 40%. So in terms of the award for English-mediated courses is top 10%. So it's a little bit more lax than the courses that are taught in Korean. And the reason why this is 10% versus 5% for Korean is to encourage teaching in English, to recognize that it is more difficult for non-native speakers of English to teach in English. So that's why the percentage is bigger. But as you can see, in 2013, they said we should limit this to 5% and make everything even. So before, when we tried to encourage EMI, it was 10%, but now new faculty are contracted. They must teach in English until they receive tenure. So whatever courses they teach, they must teach in English, so there was no need to make the percentage or rate bigger. So we, again, narrowed it down to 5%. In terms of the course enrollees, we tried to make a difference. These statistics here were developed by our Department of Statistics. The professors there said, okay, we have to look at the numbers closely. In terms of the numbers, as we all know, the smaller the class you have, the better your evaluation will be. It's not 100% sure, but most likely, if you have a very small class, you will be able to interact with your students more, and they will evaluate you better. So the people in the statistics department said, okay, let's make a difference. It's difficult to teach a large class. It's very, very difficult to get evaluations from 100 people versus evaluations from 10 people. So we made a difference in the award. So in terms of the major categories of classes, we still have 3 major categories: majors, electives, and English-mediated courses. But within that, we have groups. So you will see that, for instance, there's a group where you have to have 21 to 50, and then there's another group where it's over 51 students. So there are many numbers up here, but all the numbers are telling you is that there is a difference between class size and how we give the award depending on the size. And in terms of small classes versus large classes, we give more awards to the large classes because, again, teaching a large class is that much difficult to do. In terms of the Excellent Teaching Award, again here, this has to do with part-time faculty. Part-time faculty, again, we want to recognize their excellence as well and their contribution to the university. So some of the numbers here are a little bit different, and as you can see than before, you can see that for full-time faculty, it's more complicated. But for part-time faculty, it's simple. So we want to award part-time faculty as much as we can. In terms of number of winners, this is for outstanding course. So up till now, I talked about the Excellent Teaching Award. Other than this award, we give citations for outstanding course. So outstanding course no award or physical award is given, the professor is told that your course was an outstanding course. So for the Excellent Teaching Award, it was top 5%. For Outstanding Course, it's top 20%. So in the beginning, in 2007, this was started. So in 2004, the Excellent Teaching Award was started. In 2007, the Outstanding Course was started. In 2007, it was top 30%, but now, in 2013, it's top 20%. So, and as you can see, there are differences. In terms of course enrollees, outstanding course, it's pretty much the same. But for outstanding courses, there's more leeway in that you can have 10 students, unlike the teaching award. So these are the numbers. It's pretty much the same, and all the numbers are telling you is that we want to make a difference in terms of class size. As for the incentives, I'm pretty sure that you're curious about what incentives there are. I heard that for today's awardees, that there's a big trophy for the winners today. So congratulations for that big trophy. In the beginning in 2004, the incentive was money. So, but this was not a lot of money. Only 500,000. How much is that in yen? Not too much. Maybe 50,000 yen? Okay, that's not too much. The problem was this. When the professors were given money, all the professors gave the money back to the university. They said, okay, they didn't think it was too little. It wasn't a matter of being insulted. They gave the money for scholarships for students. So all the professors said, okay, we don't need the money. Teaching is our job. But maybe they thought it was too small, the amount. So in that sense, they thought, okay, we don't need the money. Let's give it to our students because they evaluated me and they gave me the award. So they kept on giving the money back. So the university said, okay, stop. No more money. All right, so we don't want you giving back the money. So instead, in 2005, a little plaque or a commemoration sculpture was given. But here, they said, okay, plaque is good, but we still want to recognize good professors. So they started to give the award winners gold, pure gold. So in terms of pure gold, it was 2 grams. 2 grams is very small. A little cell phone accessory. So it was a little Korea University mark that was in gold. So you received gold. Another incentive was a banquet. So the Korea University Alumni Association sponsors a banquet, a dinner banquet for all the awardees. So every semester, the alumni helps out the university and says, we recognize the excellence in teaching at our university, so let's give the awardees a banquet. In terms of evaluation for faculty, you have evaluation here. We have annual evaluations. We have evaluation for tenure. We have evaluations for promotion from assistant to associate professor, associate to full professor. When you do the evaluations, you are given points for research, for teaching, for service. For teaching points, if you get the award, you will be given 5 points. So this is another incentive by the administration and by the Office of Academic Affairs. For outstanding course, there are 3 points are given as well. So in 2013, it's pretty much the same, but now this year they're changing the award. So before they gave a cell phone accessory in pure gold, now this year the plaque is going to be coated in gold. It's going to be coated. So you can't carry around the gold anymore. So the plaque, they will coat 1 layer of gold on the plaque. So that's what's happening this year. It's new, something new. Okay, so in terms of, you're thinking, okay, this is undergraduate level. What about graduate level? At the graduate school, only one time was the award given. This was given in 2007, the second semester. In terms of the graduate school, they managed the award separately. So for undergraduate, it is managed by the Office of Academic Affairs. For the graduate school, it was managed by the graduate school. So they gave top 5%. The incentives were pretty much the same. 5 points for educational achievement and a plaque, but no gold. So in that sense, why did they discontinue this? For those of you who know what graduate courses are like, graduate courses are very small. Usually, you teach your advisees. You know who gives you an evaluation. So for instance, in one professor's course, there were 3 students. The 3 students were all that professor's students. So that's difficult. You cannot do an objective evaluation of your advisor. If you do a bad one, then who knows what can happen. So in that sense, the graduate school said, okay, one time, then they looked at the evaluations. Everybody was excellent. Everybody. So top 5, our student evaluation is a 1 to 5 point scale. Top 5, everybody was 5. So, and everybody else was 4.9, 4.8. So they said, okay, no, let's discontinue this. Graduate school, we believe the teachers will do their best to teach their graduate students, so there's no need to recognize their teaching. In terms of effectiveness of the Excellent Teaching Award program, we all know this, and this was mentioned before. It's always nice to be recognized. It's very nice for people to be recognized, so this is a good reward and incentive structure. Waseda University and Korea University are pretty much the same. We are research-oriented universities, so there are many rewards for research, but not too many rewards for teaching. So an award such as this recognizes good professors. Award like this also gives the professor a chance to reflect on their teaching. They think, okay, that professor won an award. Why did that person win? What can I do about my teaching to win an award as well? So it stimulates other professors. But someone asked me before, are the names known to the students? So in terms of the names of the awardees, at one time, one semester, the university put the names of the professors on the school webpage. But there were too many complaints from other professors. These are professors who unfortunately did not win the award, but they said, if you put the names there, then students will think I am a bad teacher. So there were many complaints. So we took down the official announcement. So students may know, but maybe they won't know that their teacher has won an award or not. In terms of the effectiveness, it improves the teaching environment as well. And there are other outcomes, such as positive effects. Director Nakano told me that for the e-teaching award, on your business card, your name card, they will write e-teaching award winner. I think that's a very nice touch and something that I will recommend. So that's very, very nice. And you don't give your business card to other professors at your university, so that's okay too. You can show other people that you won an award. The last 2 things that I'm going to talk about are some winning cases. What are the winning cases in terms of professors who have won this award? In terms of winning case number 1, this was a business school teacher who won 6 times. This professor said passion was the most important thing. Passion, enthusiasm, showing your students you care. Here, this professor had one-to-one meetings with students in class at the beginning to get to know them. So this professor made a lot of effort. In this class, this professor said, okay, this is what worked for me. What this professor did was apply the theories to actual life, try to connect learning with the skills that are important when you graduate and when you want to become employed. Make exam questions related to the lectures. This is very obvious. Maybe use humor in the class as well. So for me, one time I tried to use humor. I try to use a lot of humor in my classes, but my classes don't laugh. My students don't laugh at me. So I told this to my brother. I said, brother, I don't know what's wrong with me. I try to be funny in class, but none of my students laugh. So my brother told me, it's because, sister, you're not funny. So that's my problem that I want to solve, because it's nice to make people laugh. The winning case number 2, this is the last case I will talk about. This professor won it 4 times. Here, this professor tried to show the relationship between the whole and the part. So at the beginning of each class, the professor would say, this is the big topic we will talk about today in class, and then that's how the professor would start the class. So in this professor's case, he tried to show a relationship between the whole and the parts, and that helped students a lot. The last thing that I would like to talk about are the applications. What can we do? So at Waseda University, I think the name cards are very nice. At our university, we do not stop with giving the award one time. The next semester or the next year, when we have a new faculty orientation, the winners are invited to give a talk to the new faculty. They tell the new faculty about their teaching experience and what is good for them in terms of teaching. At my center, the Center for Teaching and Learning, we invite winners to give best practice talks to the entire faculty. So they are invited for talks, and some of their talks are videotaped, and we upload it to our website. Another thing is that we publish teaching tip books. So the winners are invited to contribute their teaching tips. So the last book we made, the title was, What Does the Professor Next Door Do? That was the title of our book. So the professors gave one tip, and we had 100 professors give tips about their best teaching practice. Then the CTL is a Center for Teaching and Learning. We have a steering committee. We try to invite winners because they are the ones who are very interested in teaching and can contribute. So we invite them to be on our committee. And lastly, I'd like to congratulate the 4 winners. Today is a very, very wonderful day, a very, very meaningful day for teachers. In Japan, is there a Teacher's Day? Is there a Teacher's Day? No? In Korea, May is full of many, many days where you have to spend money on gifts. So, May 5th is the same, Children's Day, May 5th. May 8th is Parents' Day, so mother and father the same, Parents' Day. Then, May 15th, 2 days ago, was Teacher's Day. So, at Korea University, the Student Association, they buy carnations for every professor. And the Student Association members, they knock on your door, and then they come in and say, here, this is your carnation. So one professor was complaining, but aren't carnations expensive? Where do the students get that money for the carnations? So on May 15th, the students come and give you carnations. So that's very nice. So that was only 2 days ago. So again, happy Teacher's Day and congratulations to the winner. And thank you very much for inviting me here to share our experience with you. Thank you very much.